Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, GIS and SAP Integration, Connecting Enterprise Systems the Right Way. My name is Lindsay, and I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. On the webinar today, joining me, we have Ryan, Paige, and Xiaoxing. But before we get started, I wanted to let you know that if you have questions throughout the presentation, you may submit them using the Q&A feature on the right side of your screen. We won't have time to answer the questions live today, but we'll get back to you following the webinar with responses. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Ryan to get us started.
Thank you, Lindsay. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to walk you all through our SAP and GIS webinar for connecting enterprise systems the right way. So this quick agenda is going to give you a high-level introduction of GeoNexus technologies and why we do what we do. GeoWorx, for the GeoWorx platform for GIS and SAP integration. Paige and Xiaoxing are going to walk you through GeoWorx Sync and Office technical demonstration, and then we're going to wrap things up. And like Lindsay just mentioned, if anyone has any questions, feel free to enter them in the Q&A sidebar to your right, and we'll get those answered for you after the webinar. So a little bit about GeoNexus Technologies. We were founded in 2009 here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and are actually celebrating our 10-year anniversary this upcoming October. We also currently have 17 employees and are growing. We currently have 50+ active customers on our logo list. We also have resellers in Esri, Australia, and KNA in the Middle East region. So our global reach has been expanding these past several months, and we look forward to the future of that as well. Our principals came from the system integration realm, and they each have over 25 years of experience in integrating GIS with disparate systems. And lastly, we are partners with all Tier 1 vendors for the systems that we currently integrate with. So what we do here at GeoNexus is reflected in our mission statement. We are not GIS implementers, nor are we SAP implementers, but we are integration experts. And we showcase that through this statement right here. So our mission is to provide you, the customer, with a proven platform for system integration that is fully supported and ultimately ensures the integrity of your enterprise data. We are 100% focused on this mission, and we believe we're the best in the world when connecting disparate systems with GIS technology, or Esri technologies. So the GeoWorx platform can be broken down into the 3 separate products. The GeoWorx Office product, which Xiaoxing will be walking a demonstration through later, is our map-centric viewer to view equipment data outside of the SAP system. The GeoWorx Sync, or our flagship product, geo-enables your SAP with Esri through synchronization, allowing equipment data to flow from system to system, regardless of system of record or entry. And Paige will be walking you through that demonstration shortly as well. And then third, our GeoWorx Sketch tool. And while we won't be showcasing that today during this webinar, if any of you would like to learn more about that comprehensive redlining solution, please feel free to drop a note, and we'll reach out to you after this webinar as a follow-up. So to break down the GeoWorx Sync platform a little bit more, there's 3 components to it. First, the GUI, which is a really easy to use user interface that all synchronization rules are first established. Paige will walk you through that GUI during her demonstration. The GeoWorx engine is really where all of the work takes place within that solution. And then the third component, and what makes us unique compared to other companies, is we provide productized adapters for these integrations. And while we are focusing on the SAP Esri integration, we do support integration with other systems highlighted there on the screen, and also the utility network. So if any of you would like to learn more about any of the other systems we support or the UN, please feel free to reach out to us as well, and we'll follow up after the webinar on those topics. So the GeoWorx products that we're going to be showing in the technology demonstration is our GeoWorx Sync, which is the integration tool that allows for bidirectional synchronization of equipment data between SAP and Esri, and then our GeoWorx Office solution, which is our map-centered viewer that allows you to locate equipment, functional locations, maintenance orders directly from Esri's web app builder. And with that, I'm going to pass this on to Paige, who's going to walk you through a GeoWorx Sync technical demonstration.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Paige. I'm a software specialist here at GeoNexus Technologies, and today I will be showing you guys how to use the GeoWorx Sync GUI through a use case scenario. So in this scenario, we are going to pretend that we are an electrical company and that there's recently been a new housing development in our district. Because of this, we need to go in and add in a poll, and we'll make that poll in GIS and then sync it with GeoWorx Sync into SAP. So with that, we'll now go into GIS and actually create that new poll record. Okay, so here we are in GIS, and as you can see, there are a lot of different housing developments around this area, and at the base where they break off, all of them have a wood pole, except for this one right here. So we'll go ahead and drop a pole right there, and then we'll look at it in the table and make a couple edits to make sure that all the information we want is in there. So the first thing we can go and do is add in our installation date, which is 9/25/2019. And then we'll add in a comment too. We'll make the comment webinar. Then we'll go in, we can change the height as well. We'll make it 40 feet. And then we'll change the manufacturer to Bell for Bell's Lumber. Now that's everything that we want to change in GIS, but I do want to point out this field right here, which is equipment number. You'll also see it listed as EQUNR later. And what the equipment number is a unique identifier that both GIS and SAP use to be able to differentiate between records. And while you can manually add it, we'll actually have GeoWorx Sync go in and auto-generate this value. So with that now, we can go ahead into the GeoWorx Sync GUI. So the first thing that we're going to do is start the synchronizer. You can see the button right here. And GeoWorx Sync can both be started manually, which is what I just did here, or it can also be started on a scheduled task runner. So this way, for instance, if you know that you want to run it every night, every week, bi-weekly, or any other time frame, you can actually set it to automatically run. So now we'll go in and look at the configuration. The configuration is really where the meat of the GUI and most of the changes come from. So the first thing we'll go over is the system properties. This is simply your GeoWorx Sync license key, which allows you to use the technology, along with denoting what type of ArcGIS license type it is. In this case, it's a desktop standard. Next, we'll look at email notifications. You can add in your email address here, and then every time Sync runs, it does generate both a PDF and an XML report, and those will get automatically emailed to you. So for instance, if you decide that you want to automatically run Sync every Friday, when you get into the office Monday morning, you'll have a nice email from GeoWorx Sync with all the updates, creates, and changes that were made. So next up, we'll look at the validation feature. This is really a precursor to running, and it makes sure that all the data you've uploaded is correct and that there aren't any egregious errors that would prevent any type of synchronization. So it's a really nice precursor, and is there to make sure that your data integrity is maintained and that mistakes aren't made when you're integrating data. So next we can go in and look at our GIS connection, and you can see for this that you do need a user and a password along with the server, the instance, and the database. And this allows GeoWorx Sync to go in and both be able to integrate data and also extract data from there. The SAP connection is set up very similarly in that you do need a user and a password as well, and in addition to that, you do have all of your classification URLs. So you have your query classification list, detail, assign entity to classification URL, and all the different ones you need to be for GeoWorx Sync to be able to go into SAP and again extract data, make creates, or make changes as necessary. So next up, we'll look at data sets. And if you look at this first data set right here, you can see that it's grayed out, and also in parentheses, it says preview. So if you right click on it, you have the option to enable or disable data sets. By enabling the data set when you run Sync, that data set will run. And if you disable the data set, that data set will not run. This is especially handy if, like the case I'm doing right now, you only want to be updating one data set, and it really gives you a lot of flexibility for what Sync can do. In addition to that, we do have something called preview mode. Preview mode will allow Sync to run as though it's running and you'll get a PDF report with all the changes that are made, but it won't actually integrate or change any of your data. And this is, again, just a precursor to maintain data integrity, so you know exactly where your data is going to be pushed and changed before actually doing so in your databases. So next we can go in and look at our distribution pool, which is the pool that we just created in GIS. So we'll first look at the GIS data sources, and it's very logically laid out in a funnel effect that becomes more specific as you go down. So we can see that we first have the connection name, and then we also have the database, the owner, the table, and that unique GIS field, which is the EQUNR or equipment number that we saw is currently null in GIS. So we do want to populate that number. So how we're going to do that is with a key generation. You can see we have our source field here. You can pick from all different ones, but again, we are using equipment number. And then we have the prefix and the number of digits. And Sync will know to go in, see whatever that last value is, and generate the next one after that, and then auto-generate it in both GIS and SAP. So the next thing we'll go in and look at is the SAP data sources. And this is, again, laid out very logically and is also in that funnel effect, very similar to the GIS data sources. So you can see that we start out with our connection name. Then we have our SAP service, entity type, class type, object type, key field, and SAP key field. Again, we have that equipment number that will be auto-generated from GeoWorx Sync and populated. And then you can see here too, we do also list our GIS foreign key field that we're populating. And that's because the way Sync works is that it's able to look at both GIS and SAP and see that exact same equivalent value and know exactly where to push data. So when that aligns up, it'll push in between those records to have the exact same SAP key field or equipment number. So now we'll go in and look at our GIS synchronization rules. And the GIS synchronization rules are really where the meat of the GUI and most of the editing and changing occur. They do a live read, so they pull in all of that data from GIS and all of that data from SAP. So you know exactly the different types of configurations that you can use and where you can push data and different ways that it really works. So it is a super powerful tool. In addition to that, the synchronization rules are completely bidirectional. So you can push from GIS to SAP and SAP to GIS. So as you can see from the name here, we are in GIS to SAP. So this data here is specifically getting pushed from GIS to SAP. And you can see that we can both create records and we can modify records. And you'll see here that we have our GIS field and our target SAP field. This means that we've selected installation date, and everything in the GIS field installation date will be pushed over to acquisition date in SAP for every single record. So it is very logically laid out, and it's very easy to understand and know exactly how your data is going to be treated when you're integrating it. So we can look at the equivalent of that, which is the SAP data being pushed to GIS. And again, Sync is completely bidirectional, so you really can do complex and heavy changes for thousands and millions of records within it and know exactly how that data is going to be treated and where it's going to end up. So you can see in this one that we do just have a singular record that's being pushed from SAP to GIS, and it is being modified. We do not have any creates here. And what's being modified in SAP is the number of guide wires, and then that's being pushed to the target field in GIS, number of guide wires. So now that we've kind of gotten an overview of the GUI and see how it's working, let's go ahead and see if it's finished running. And it has, and you can see that key generation right here, and that it's been created. So now we'll go into the report and see the new key generation and the new record that's created. So the report comes in both a PDF and an XML, and it is very comprehensive for every change that was made. You can see that we do have a lot of different areas. If we look at this final status report, that is exactly what was on the end of the console, and we can see all the changes that were made. And then you do have all these other sections as well. So if we were to have an error, it would be red here. We do not. And then we can go there and verify that there are no errors. Again, we also have it for orphans, meaning that if there's a record that exists in GIS but not SAP, or SAP but not GIS, it'll be denoted there. So you can see when there aren't equivalent fields. Then we also have a links, a create, so our new records that are created, which is what we did, any updates, any discrepancies in the data, things that you need to be aware of, or duplicates in the data, any deletes and how those are handled if you delete something on the GIS side or the SAP side, and any warnings. So we can actually go right into this PDF, and we'll go ahead and copy out this name. And then here we are in SAP. We'll use the ID code IE03 to be able to go and display our equipment. And then we'll just paste in this new name that was auto-generated by GeoWorx Sync. And there we go, here it is. We can see that it was created today, that the manufacturer is Bell. And if we go into class overview, we'll be able to see that the comment is webinar, the pole height is 40 feet, and everything is exactly how we want it and is exactly like the record that we created in GIS. So with that, I will now pass the screen over to Xiaoxing, and she will show you even more about what our technologies can do.
Thank you so much, Paige. Hi, this is Xiaoxing, the lead developer of GeoWorx Office for SAP. So today we are going to do a brief demonstration about GeoWorx Office for SAP. As what I'm showing here, as you can see, it's a web page, so which means the GeoWorx Office is just a web application. It's based on JavaScript, Esri web app builder, and also the Esri ArcGIS online portal platform. So it's totally JavaScript HTML5, which means you can run it on all multiple different devices like tablet, mobile phones. Because it's based on Esri web app builder for those who are not very familiar with it. So Esri web app builder is just a platform which can leverage your map documentations and map applications. And also there are tons of Esri out-of-box widget which you can plug into the map viewers. Like what we have right now, we have base map, gallery, bookmark, measurement, selection tools, printing tools, and a lot of other tools that you can plug into the map viewer application. To GeoWorx Office, so GeoWorx Office itself is just another widget which can plug into the map viewer. So which means if you have your existing web app builder map applications, and it's gonna be pretty easy for GeoWorx Office to plug into your existing map applications. As you can see here, for GeoWorx Office, we do require user to log in to use it, but GeoWorx Office itself, it does not add extra authentication layers. So we will use your SAP credentials. So you just use, you can log into your SAP, you can use exactly the same account to log into GeoWorx Office. So after I log in, you can see right now we have 4 different modules. We have equipment, functional location, maintenance order, and also service order. For all those modules, we have one exactly the same functionality called view details. So if I click the view details, it will go to the detail widget. And with the widget, you can see for the equipment, so we do support a lot of multiple different GIS layers. So all those layers are from your GIS data set. I can just select the layer, one of the layer that I would like to use. I will select the pole today. So after I select the pole, I can draw from the map to select the feature, and it will populate the ID for this pole with exactly the same ID. If after we synchronize the data, use GeoWorx Sync between your GIS and your SAP, you will have exactly the same ID inside your SAP. So we can retrieve the data from SAP from GeoWorx Office. So right now, after I click that record in this equipment, all those information are retrieved from SAP in real time. So it does not only retrieve the equipment data, also the functional location related to that equipment, and also the maintenance orders or the service order related to this equipment as well. They are retrieved from SAP in real time. So besides the view detail, like for maintenance order, you can view the details as well. I just select the maintenance order app and also click the record. It will retrieve the maintenance order information from SAP directly. Also like the equipment that we use to create this maintenance order. So besides the view detail function, for maintenance order, we do have another functionality to allow the user to create a new maintenance order. Just think about I have a pole installed like half a year ago. I just want to do an inspection. So today, how can I do that? So I'll select the layer, select the pole layer. I'll select this pole. Select that, the ID will show up here. Click Next. You will go to a maintenance order detail page. So in this tab, it has some fields that you need to fill in before you submit a maintenance order. And I'll select the priority and the maintenance order type, the default planning plan, and also description for this maintenance order. After that, click Next, you go to a confirmation page. Actually, this page is just simply ask you to review the values that you put for this maintenance order. After I make sure I verified all the values are correct, I'll just simply click this Create button. After I click the button, you can see I got a message saying maintenance order created successfully. And at the same time, I did see another red triangle show up top of the equipment that I selected. And we can select this maintenance order. It will show up the maintenance order number and also the equipment number that we use to create this maintenance order. If we get back to SAP here, maintenance order number here, you can see we can get the maintenance order we just created from GeoWorx Office for SAP. It has the demonstration, the description that we put here, and also with the equipment that we selected. So that's just a brief introduction about GeoWorx Office for SAP. So I'll
Well, thank you, Xiaosheng. Both you and Paige did a great job demonstrating GeoWorx Sync and GeoWorx Office. So wanted to kind of wrap things up and explain 3 reasons why the GeoWorx platform is the right way to integrate your SAP and Esri systems. First, the GeoWorx platform enables you to eliminate time-consuming processes of dual entry and maintenance of custom scripts for providing a proven platform for SAP and Esri integration. The platform also is totally supported, meaning we stay current with both SAP and Esri technologies and ensure that the platform is ready and compatible with the newest versions of those systems, those systems products. Excuse me. Second, I really want to emphasize how geospatial data visualization is accomplished here through our GeoWorx platform. And how we do that is through our GeoWorx Office widget. It gives you insight to that equipment that you can't view in a tabular form inside of SAP. And lastly, GeoNexus is all about data integrity. And we showcase that through our proven GeoWorx platform. And we give the customer the ability to control the synchronization process. And with the reporting functionality that's produced every single time the integration is ran, it allows you, the customer, to truly identify what occurs in both systems. So those are 3 of the big differentiators that we feel like we accomplish, and we ensure that SAP and Esri is being connected the right way. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Lindsay.
Thank you, Ryan. And thank you to all of you for joining us today for today's webinar. As I mentioned before, we'll follow up with all the questions that have been submitted following the webinar. And I also wanted to let you know that at the end of October, we're going to be at the Esri GeoConnect conference, and we'd love to have you stop by our booth and ask any remaining questions that you may have. So thank you very much, and have a great day.